Hey, this is Ben. I wanted to respond to a video by CMB Admins. Why do you believe your religion is true? And just a basic, persuasive little speech with slideshow backup, to help illustrate the point that, people tend to believe things for other than rational reasons, and you need to unpack this and take it down. And I had a hard time finding anything I disagreed with in the video, and in fact I'm making this video to add extra information I think may be helpful to other people. Even though I'm a Christian, maybe you can learn something. Maybe you can agree with me on something. What I've learned is that when someone desires to be wrong, well, first of all, there are different types of fallacies out there, and you begin to analyze the fallacies and learn that this fallacy is a stronger argument, or a stronger form of argument. This fallacy tends to be more intellectual. This fallacy tends to be more emotional. For instance, a slippery slope. If someone makes a slippery slope, that's more heavily emotional. Or if someone makes a false dilemma, that tends to be much more intellectual in nature. But there is no fallacy, there's no confusion that doesn't have some sort of emotional content to it, but there's just some that sway more one or the other. I don't want to totally divide it. And in addition to that, emotional fallacies tend to be more favored with people who agree with you. So let's say I come to my church and I want to argue against abortion, and I come with them with intellectual reasons. They won't like that. They won't be interested in that. That won't be, their thing. They're gonna be much more, they'll find a slippery slope much more appealing if I say, well, if we allow abortion, there will be unrest, and society will turn into chaos because we'll destroy the family or something like that. And even though that's fallacious, because who's to say that you'll destroy the family because you allow abortion, but that'll be more appealing in political rallies and things like that. Some of these appeals to emotion sometimes actually work more in your favor. So there's an incentive for people to say things. So say you're in an atheist group. If you say religion will destroy society, then you've got a better argument in their minds than if you had some rational reason not to believe in God. Let's see. And the main issue I wanted to, this thing's about to die. Okay. Anyway, the main issue I wanted to talk about was when you look at that, the intellectual defenses people come up with tend to be safety nets. Safety nets. So let's say someone became an atheist because they hated their parents and their parents were religious. Well, obviously, that's more of an emotional background to why they became an atheist. It doesn't mean, it's not God's fault. It's not the religion's fault, and unless the religion says that nothing bad will, no one will ever have mean parents. But let's say you had mean parents, or your parents dipped out on you to spend time at church, and you hate religion. Well, what people do is they start with that emotional basis, but then it flows into, you guessed it, an intellectual basis. You construct intellectual defense systems to maintain your emotional bias. So what people do, and this is the way it works, and we have to all be careful about this, because it doesn't matter what you believe, you can do this. You can believe it for the wrong reasons, even if you're right. And what people do is build these protection systems to make them feel safe in what they've already committed to, these intellectual arguments. And so if you come in and destroy their intellectual arguments with better intellectual arguments, and you come in and blow it up and tear it down, you're not going to persuade that person. What you're going to do is remove their safety net. They may get offended, they may get scared, but that has to be done before they'll change their mind. They have to doubt. They have to get. You have to remove that before you can get down to you know, where they're really coming from and how they really came to believe whatever it is they believe. And this is true, you know, religion or not religion, but the issue with religion, as the video rightly points out, is that it's such a weighty issue, it's hard not to have everything, your whole culture, your whole worldview, your concept of yourself and everything is tied into it. And the debate about religions is huge, and it doesn't matter if you're religious or not, you know, the debate about religions is huge. So there's that. I will add this one more thing. I think because of this, most people tend to avoid conversation about religious things because they recognize what this video pointed out. They don't jump into the debate and be haphazard. They just say, let's avoid the debate completely, which I think, again, that is a no-no too. It's just as big a no-no as jumping in and being retarded. So yeah. Bye.